How's it going, guys? My name is Lord Saga OG. For those of you who don't know me, welcome to the channel. For those of you who are a part of the channel, thank you for coming back. Today I'm going to be talking about things that I hope to see in Season 4 from Apex Legends and from the Respawn team. I absolutely love Apex Legends. This has been my favorite game and the game that I've been playing for the past year now. And there's a lot of things that this company can still improve on for Apex Legends, and a lot of things that they're doing right. And so I want to talk about some of the things that I hope to see in Season 4. Some of you guys may feel the same, and some of these things have already been shared on different platforms like Reddit or just in online. You guys may have talked about them. So I'm going to go talk about some of the things that I would like to see, and hopefully they resonate with some of you guys. If you guys have any other additions that I may have missed, feel free to leave those in the comment section below. This is going to be a lengthy video, so I also hope you guys enjoy the gameplay that I'm going to be attaching to this video. So I'm going to jump right in and talk about some of the new game modes. I really like the LTMs that were going on right now. The duos mode that they have with all the gold guns was really fun. I really enjoyed playing the third person mode. That was a really fun game. I like seeing all my cosmetics. But the one thing that I would like to say is that the incentive to play the game mode wasn't too big, because one, the wins weren't counting, right? The kills counted, but the wins weren't counting towards my trackers. And for me, at least, I really value my time put in to get those wins, along with the kills as well. And so I think that going forward, if we could, during any limited time modes or in the future, have those wins count for us, I think that would be something that would be a further incentive for me to continue trying those limited time modes out. A lot of the people that I know use those trackers as a way to kind of show their status in the game, or when that preload screen, or even credibility in Discords when getting invited. Those trackers help show the time that you put in, you know, the amount of games that you've won. All those things go into are taken into consideration when people want to play with you. So if those wins were to count in those limited time modes, I think more people would be playing them, more people would have comments on them, and therefore just improve the game. But overall, I think the LTMs are fun, but I hope to see wins counted in those. And continuing on with game modes, solos and duos are something that I would love to see permanently brought into Season 4. Now, this can be, you know, it can be just solos, it can be just duos. As long as we get either one of those modes in Season 4, I'm gonna be happy. I think that the community as a whole has been asking for either one of those game modes to be put in the game, and I think that we've had a couple limited time modes, a lot of testing done on Respawn's end via the community. I think that it is time for them to implement one of those modes, if not both of those modes, into a permanent state in Apex. I think that it'll do a lot for content. It'll do a lot for just general quality of or just enjoyment of the game, right? People have been wanting and asking for duos for a long time, and solos for a long time. And when it was out, a lot of people enjoyed it. A lot of people had a really good time with it. I know I really enjoyed solos a lot, because I'm somebody who just likes to queue up and just keep on playing back to back to back. I don't really like waiting on people. So the solos was a perfect game for me, game mode for me. And I would really like to see in Season 4 both of those modes implemented, if not one, and then down the road, hopefully a variety of different other modes, because I think that'll just add to the enjoyment of the game for different types of people who have different types of play styles. And a little addition to the third person mode that I wanted to talk about. I really think that in the future, Respawn should take a look at that mode, because of the fact that cosmetics are such a huge part of Apex and their revenue that they make. I think it was also a cool thing for me to at least to see all my skins that I have worked so hard for, that I have paid for, to be shown in third person, right? I can see, you know, my Bangalore skin. I can see all my cool little gun skins, in addition to the cosmetics that I already own. So I thought that was a really cool piece about the third person mode, that I really saw as the highlight, aside from the third person itself, was just the fact that I actually got to see my cosmetics. I thought it was so cool to be able to see my cosmetics there. And I think a lot of people felt the same way. And that might be something that, you know, Respawn should look into in the future, being a potential permanent game mode. So those, in terms of game modes, those are the things I hope to see in Season 4. So moving on now, I'm going to talk about the maps, right? So we've had mixed feelings about World's Edge compared to Kings Canyon. Most of the Apex community was super fond about Kings Canyon. It was a great map, you know, and World's Edge initially was met with a lot of love, and then as people played it, they began to see certain flaws. Me personally, I don't mind it too much. I do like Kings Canyon more, but I think that and this has been talked about on Reddit a lot and also just in the community, in the gaming community, is just having some type of random map function, right? And so what this means is where you have both Kings Canyon and World's Edge in some type of random rotating mode where players are thrown in and they get put into, either Kings Canyon or World Edge, and we don't really have a choice. It's just based on random algorithm or however Respawn wants to work it. And there's a couple reasons I think it should be done this way. One, I don't think that there should be two separate queues for Kings Canyon and World's Edge, because then that just splits up the player base and it'll make matchmaking queues longer than they already are. I think that they should take from PUBG. What they did is when they added the new maps, they just threw you into a random rotation of those maps. And, it was fine. Say if you didn't want to play World's Edge, you're guaranteed to get Kings Canyons within 1 or 2 games. And so I think that Respawn should implement something like that for Season 4 if they plan on adding a new another map into the rotation. I really think it would be in their best interest too, because once again, this is something that's been talked about on the Reddit community, within the community in terms of just online and Discord. A lot of people want Kings Canyon back, and we can already see that being accepted with limited time modes like Kings Canyon After Dark that are being implemented by Respawn already. So I think that having both of the maps in the rotation in some type of integrated random algorithm would be a great addition, because people have been asking for Kings Canyon back, and then it adds that little fresh addition to World's Edge, because people aren't playing it so much, so they may be open to playing on that map, say if they get it after playing a couple rounds of Kings Canyon. So I think that that's something that I would like to see in Season 4 as well. And that's all I have in terms of the maps. I know that there's something in the sky right now that we're starting to notice, and we don't really know what it is exactly. And so it could be a map change, but I would really still like to see those rotating maps be implemented. So now moving on to character changes for Season 4, right? We had a lot of recent buffs and nerfs to certain characters. We all know that Jibby is now super overpowered with his quick revives in the bubble and the certain buffs that he's gotten, along with Crypto. So there's some other characters that I think were kind of left behind that I would like to talk about. One of them is Lifeline. Lifeline has seen some really cool ideas brought to the surface from Reddit users about her bot, right? And being able to toss her bot over certain objects so it can heal people. When she revives, have her shield, stay up a little bit longer, so that way that person has a little bit of a time to get away, a little bit of a time to get a shield cell off. Or just being able to counter Jibby's new buff in some certain type of way and make Lifeline useful again, because I feel like now Lifeline is kind of irrelevant because of the fact that Jibby is so overpowered. So I would like to see some character changes to Lifeline, whether that be some type of buff or some type of addition to her kit in Season 4. Also Octane, right? I feel like Octane, even though he's a newer legend, he's still been kind of left on the back burner in terms of buffs. And one thing that another Reddit user I've seen brought up is using their jump pad for different types of scenarios based on how you decide to hit the jump pad, right? So if you slide onto the jump pad, it takes you into a more not as high of an arc in terms of how high it launches you, but more of a straight line. Whereas if you were to run on it, it'll shoot you up higher. So adding those different types of varieties to the way somebody can use Octane's jump pad will make his kit more enjoyable, more practical, and will add just that little extra necessity that I think will get people to play Octane. And a lot of people are already playing him, but not as much as the current metas right now. And I think that the more level playing field, you're always going to have those really good characters in a game, no matter what, those best characters. But having that variety on the play field makes it more enjoyable when you're not facing the same, Jibby, Wraith, and Pathfinder squad every single fight, right? You have that variety, you have those different battles that go on, and it just makes the game fun, it makes the game enjoyable. So I would like to see a Lifeline buff and an Octane buff in Season 4. Those two characters I think are great. And then also too, I've heard some rumors about heirlooms coming out, and I would really like a Bangalore heirloom. I feel like she has been a neglected heirloom character, She's one of the original Apex Legends characters, and I would really like some type of Rambo combat knife to be added to her heirloom set, or even a police baton, since she was an officer according to the lore. Have some type of Officer Williams skin attached with a police baton. I think that's a really cool heirloom idea that could be implemented for Bangalore, and a lot of people would accept that idea. I would like to say I'm a Bangalore main, so I'm obviously biased, but that's just a little side note that I would like to see added in Season 4 as well. So moving on to guns, every season we get introduced some type of new gun. That's their promise, and I hope they keep their promise in Season 4. But more specifically, I hope we get to see a new SMG. Currently, right now, there are only 3 submachine guns in Apex Legends. You have the R99, you have the Prowler, and then you have the Alternator. The R99 is obviously the most picked up gun out of those 3. And then the Alternator, when you put it up against either the Prowler or the R99, is really not a viable option. I would like to say, even with the current buffs, if somebody can hit their burst shots on the Prowler, you're going to beat somebody in that 1v1 with the Alternator shot, and same with the R99. So I would like to see that energy SMG added to the SMG category, because I think it'll add a nice little variety in the SMG section. There's a lot of different guns on a lot of different categories, like assault rifles, a lot of sniper rifles, and so I would like to see an added SMG, specifically an energy gun, just because the SMGs are fun to use, right? And you can use them in multiple scenarios. And I would like to see a lot of variety rather than everyone just running R99s. Lately, the game has been filled with a lot of Peacekeepers and a lot of R99s. It'd be nice to run into a box and have that variety of that energy. I think it's a Volt SMG that they're planning to come out with. I would love to see that implemented, and I really hope that in Season 4, we get a new SMG introduced, specifically an energy SMG introduced from the Titanfall, game, brought into Apex Legends. So I really hope to see that in terms of guns. And that's mostly all I have. Obviously, if we have some type of addition mid-Season 4, I'd be okay with that. I really enjoy a lot of the guns. I use all the guns in Apex Legends for the most part. But I would like to see a new SMG for sure. My next point, I want to talk about trackers and badges in Apex Legends, right? So currently right now we have trackers that are for, on a per character basis. So I would really like to see in the future trackers that are on like a full account basis, right? So you can see how many wins you have on that account total rather than how many wins you have on one specific character. And here's why I think that those badges should be added, or those trackers should be added. One, oftentimes players who grind a certain character and they found some good good results with that character, they tend not to stray away to too many different characters because they have all their stats on this one character. They have their 25 to 100 wins. They have, 5,000 kills on this person, and they kind of want to show off those trackers when they enter that lobby. Whereas, if say you pick another character that you don't play and you don't have any trackers, you have no data on this guy, it doesn't really look good. You kind of don't want to play him too much. So I think that having trackers for the full account that can be placed on any one of the legends will be great, because then people will have a more of an incentive to pick another character, right? Because they know that they're still going to have those trackers attached to their banner. Or say they'll even stay in the game, right? Oftentimes when a player doesn't get their main legend, they'll quit the game because they want to work on those tracker skills, or they want to work on those tracker numbers, rather than, say, if you had a tracker that was good for any one of the legends, they maybe not want to quit that game. They may want to play another character because those stats are still going to add up either way. And the same thing for badges. I would really like to see badges that go across a full account rather than specifically just for one legend. And this goes into the same point that I was making earlier about them being able to play different characters, right? If you know that your badges are going to be on Caustic, your badges are going to be on Jibby, your badges are going to be on Path, you may be open to running different characters. That adds more variety on the battlefield when it comes to fights and just makes the game more enjoyable overall. And I know that Respawn is paying attention to this because they've made those badge adjustments already with a 100 level cap. I really think they did a great job of increasing the level cap up to 500 and adding that visual aesthetic change as you keep ranking up, right? Because that's further incentive to keep on grinding. You want to reach 500, say you're at 300, you want to get to 400. It's just that increased incentive to keep on playing the game, because you know that you're getting cosmetics, you're getting visual trackers that show how much time you put into the game, and it makes you feel good, and it makes other people who team up with you like, man, this guy's kind of good. So that adds into that whole feel of the enjoyment of the game. And so just to recap, I would really like to see A new gun added into Apex Legends Season 4. Hopefully we get a couple new game modes that are permanent, like solos and duos. Some map rotations going on where we can bring our baby Kings Canyon back and World Edge back, and World Edge stay in the rotation as well with the rotating function. Some adjustments to the trackers and badges. So that way we can show off our skills, you know what I mean, and let everyone know that we're good gamers and we enjoy playing this game. And you know, I think that these are they're big adjustments that Respawn is totally capable of making that will make all of us pretty happy as well. And I have no doubt that Season 4 is going to be an amazing season, whether all of these changes are implemented or not. And I just really hope that these things are kind of resonated with you as well. If you did, please make sure you like the video. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be putting out content twice a week, so I look forward to giving you guys my next video. And stay subscribed so you can see that content. Thank you guys for watching so much. I'm out of here.
Like, is it gonna
over your body? There's third.
Yeah, it does not like being approached. Look at this.
Let's check out this area.
Get off.
It does not like being approached. What is all that coding for, I wonder?
Let's go
Your
this
shield
way.
up.
Oh, yeah, right.
Get the res off. Pressure situation.
RE45.
Realistic training scenarios.
Pressure.
Enemy over there. Tango spotted. Smoke out. I'm spotted.
Oh, the bot's flying in.
Already inside the ring?
Need to recharge my shields.
I know, right? They're everywhere.
Cape
Patching
on.
myself up.
This AI mode launches. This doesn't seem quite enough. When do we get to play Kings Canyon? Next weekend? Something like that?
Enemies right here.
Down to target. Reloading.
So I think third person is this weekend, which is like, alright.
Some of us are in the ring. Check your map.